When I rang in the new year 2 weeks ago, I had no idea I would be spending part of January playing a game based on a canceled TV show. But that's exactly what happened when I reviewed Gemini, Heroes Reborn, a first-person action game with the misfortune of coming out just days after NBC pulled the plug on the low-rated Resurrection. It's rare for this to happen, but not completely unheard of. Some shows seem like a sure bet one minute, and then a complete disaster the next. To help lessen the blow, here are a few of the noteworthy games that came out after their television show had been axed. There has never been a bigger surefire hit than Dark Angel, the sci-fi action series that turned Jessica Alba into a star. Not only did it capitalize on a wave of genre TV shows, but it came from legendary director James Cameron. The same James Cameron that lit the box office on fire 4 years earlier with Titanic, the highest-grossing movie of all time. With a track record that included everything from The Terminator to True Lies, there was no way that James Cameron's first TV show could fail. Apparently the execs agreed, because a video game adaptation was rushed into development on Xbox and PlayStation 2. Radical Entertainment should have waited, as the show everybody said couldn't fail was cancelled after only 2 seasons. The game hit store shelves 6 months after the show left airwaves for good, long after the hype had died down. Between the middling reviews and bad timing, nobody remembers this half-assed effort. Bad acting, cheesy synth lines, insufferable dialogue, and copious amounts of helicopter shots. I can only be talking about Airwolf, the action-packed show that lasted 3 seasons on NBC. It's the story of a man and his experimental helicopter, sort of like Knight Rider without the heavy dose of Hasselhoff. When NBC canceled the show after only 3 seasons, the USA cable channel stepped up. Unfortunately, this led to budget cuts and a lackluster finale that few are willing to defend. By 1987, the action craze had been overshadowed by cheaply made and high-rated sitcoms. Acclaim had a window of 4 years to release a game starring an action hero and his kick-butt helicopter. It's the perfect premise for a simple 8-bit game, so capitalizing on the show's success should have been a cinch. But it probably won't surprise you to learn that Acclaim let us down once again. Airwolf was released 2 years after the show crashed and burned on its second home network. The result was a middling action game that nobody cared about. Things got so bad that Airwolf's box art had to remind gamers that it was based on a hit TV show. Ugh. Born out of the success of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and The Weakest Link, NBC decided to ante up with a game show starring a whopping 101 people, 102 if you count host Bob Saget. The idea was simple enough. The 2 groups answered a series of questions to see who would be the last one standing. Like a lot of game shows, the novelty wore thin, and NBC decided to ditch the show in favor of Deal or No Deal. This cancellation didn't stop Microsoft from releasing 1 vs 100 as their first, and only, free Xbox Live game show. Run on ad money and scheduled only a few times a week, this Xbox Live arcade game was definitely forward-thinking. Despite interest early on, many players tuned out when they realized how difficult it was to actually earn real prizes. This led to Microsoft dropping the game after only 2 seasons. No deal. After 10 years of producing TV's top-rated cartoon, Fox was hoping to have lightning strike twice with a second Matt Groening series. That show was Futurama, a goofy series about a regular schlub who accidentally gets cryogenically frozen for 1,000 years. Although the show was able to earn a loyal fan base, the ratings paled in comparison to what Fox was expecting. This led to the untimely cancellation in 2003, after only 72 episodes had aired. Days after Fox aired the series finale, Futurama returned as a video game on Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. It wasn't much to play, but did offer an original episode of the show for those willing to put in the time and effort. This proved to be the last piece of Futurama fiction we got until 2008, when Comedy Central resurrected the sci-fi cartoon. The result was another 68 episodes that ran until 2013. Few shows have spiraled out of control as spectacularly as Prison Break. Here's a show about convicts, both innocent and guilty, devising a plan to escape a prison. It's a compelling concept that should have ended the moment they made their way to safety, but that's not what happened. Fox kept ordering more seasons, which meant the writers had to keep coming up with new storylines to explore. They sent the hero to another prison and dove headfirst into crazy conspiracy theories. And just to prove how little respect they had for the questionable audience that stuck with them, the writers had the main character die for no reason in the final seconds of the finale. Deep Silver's Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 game, appropriately subtitled The Conspiracy, was released a full year after the show's final episode. Instead of honoring the series, all this disappointing action game did was remind fans that after escaping multiple prisons and clearing his name, Michael Scofield died for no good reason. It wasn't even part of a story arc. They gave him a mystery illness, and he died simply to make up for 3 seasons of dreadful plotting. And the fact that Fox is bringing this show back is absolutely baffling. Hey, thanks for watching this video. While we're on the subjects of games based on canceled TV shows, you should check out my review of Gemini Heroes Reborn. It just came out on a bunch of systems, and hey, maybe it's worth getting. I mean, it's not, but let's pretend there's some mystery and click the link. We still have a bunch of reviews coming up, as well as a big Scattergories announcement. But before any of that happens, I need you to click the subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.